When I first picked up a hammer, I thought skill was everything. I believed that the people building perfect homes or stunning furniture had some kind of secret touch, a natural talent that I just didn't. But years later, after hundreds of mistakes, broken saw blades, warped wood, and nights spent covered in sawdust wondering what went wrong, I realized something that changed the entire way I build. It is not skill that makes a great builder, it is patience. See, skill is what you learn from others. Patience is what you learn from yourself. When you start your first DIY project, you think it'll take a weekend. 2 days, maybe 3. But then something goes wrong, your measurement is off by half an inch. The wood splinters, the screws strip, the paint doesn't dry evenly, and that's the first test. Because right there you either lose your temper or you slow down and learn. That moment, that pause, is where patience separates amateurs from true builders. I remember once trying to install a door in my first cabin build. I must have removed and rehung that door 10 times. Every time it was slightly crooked or wouldn't close properly. The younger version of me would have forced it, added another hinge, wedged it, maybe blamed the lumber. But this time I just stopped, took a breath, rechecked everything from the frame to the shims. It took me an entire day to get it right, but that door, it swings perfectly to this day. That's what patience gives you, lasting work. Skill gets you speed, but patience gets you precision. Most people quit building not because they can't do it, but because they can't wait for themselves to improve. Every builder hits a point where the project doesn't look like the vision. The deck's uneven, the stain went too dark. The trim doesn't fit tight. That's where frustration tempts you to give up. But the truth is, every professional you admire went through that same ugly middle. The only difference is they didn't stop. You learn patience in the smallest ways. Waiting for glue to dry properly instead of rushing the next step. Sanding a surface for the 5th time until it's smooth. Watching the weather before painting. Remeasuring something you've already measured twice. Those moments don't make flashy videos or social media posts, but they're where real craftsmanship is born. Patience also means accepting failure as part of the process. You can't be afraid of mistakes because in building, mistakes are the education. You'll only understand how to reinforce a wall after you've built one that wobbles. You'll only respect measurements after you've wasted expensive material cutting it wrong. Skill is built on top of failure, layer by layer, project by project. The irony is that once you develop patience, the skill comes naturally. You start noticing little things you used to rush past, how the grain of the wood guides your cut, how the pressure of a drill changes as the bit bites into different materials, how moisture in the air affects your paint. You become more intentional. You start thinking ahead instead of reacting. Patience teaches you to listen to the materials, not force them. And that's when building stops being mechanical and starts becoming an art. People often tell me, I wish I could build like you. I always tell them, if you can wait, because that's the real cost of craftsmanship. Time, not money. Not tools, time, and the discipline to use it wisely. There's a rhythm to DIY work that no tutorial can teach you, the rhythm of trial, error, and reflection. You measure, cut, fail, fix, repeat. Each round teaches you something invisible. Patience turns chaos into control. It turns frustration into focus. And the more patient you become, the more you start to trust yourself. You stop looking for shortcuts. You stop comparing your progress to others. You begin to enjoy the process itself, not just the result. That's the shift where building stops being stressful and starts being meditative. It's you, your tools, and time working in sync. The funny thing is, when people look at my projects now, they assume I've always been skilled. They don't see the years of bad cuts, uneven joints, wasted materials, and nights spent redoing everything from scratch. But that's the truth behind every polished result. Patience disguised as perfection. So, if you're just starting out, here's my advice. Don't chase mastery, chase patience. Don't rush through your mistakes, study them. Let your projects teach you even when they fall apart. Because every time you rebuild, you're not just fixing something physical, you're building a mindset. And in the end, that mindset will take you further than any expensive tool or online tutorial ever could. Because skill might build your project. But patience? It builds you.